Success isn't just about working hard, it's about working with intention, clarity, and purpose. The top 1% of achievers don't just put in long hours. They make each action count by focusing on the right things. If you want to unlock your full potential and start achieving more, you need to work on building the right habits every single day. In this video, we'll dive into 10 habits that can transform the way you think, work, and live. Let's discover how to elevate your mindset and create the life you want. Habit 1. Start every day with a clear purpose. One of the most important habits of the top 1% is starting each day with a clear purpose. As the famous philosopher Aristotle once said, "The energy of the mind is the essence of life." Without purpose, your mind is scattered, and your efforts are wasted on things that don't bring you closer to your goals. This scattered energy can lead to a sense of busyness without true productivity, leaving you feeling like you're working hard but not achieving much. When you wake up in the morning, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what is the one thing that I want to accomplish today that will bring me closer to my bigger goal? This could be a task at work, a step towards personal growth, or even a moment of connection with someone important to you. The key is ensuring that whatever you focus on during the day aligns with your larger vision for your life. It's not about doing more, but doing the right things with intention. Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, captured this idea perfectly. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Starting each day with a clear purpose is your way of ensuring that your actions are aligned with what truly matters to you, rather than simply reacting to the demands of the day. Think of your day as a ship setting sail. If you don't know where you're going, you're simply drifting. But if you chart a clear course, every action you take will move you closer to your destination. Without a purpose, you risk squandering through the day without making significant progress. But when you set your intentions at the start, each task, no matter how small, becomes part of your plan to achieve something greater. Starting your day with purpose gives you a sense of direction and ensures that your energy is focused on what truly counts. It eliminates the mental clutter that often leads to distractions, helping you make every moment of your day count. As you consistently practice this habit, you'll find that your days become more productive and fulfilling, and each small step you take will bring you closer to your bigger goals. Habit 2. Develop consistency through a morning ritual. The most successful individuals understand that the way they start their day greatly impacts how productive and focused they are. The top 1% don't wake up and simply react to whatever comes their way. Instead, they take charge of their mornings with intention. By creating a morning ritual that aligns with your personal and professional goals, you set the stage for success each and every day. This ritual doesn't need to be overwhelming or packed with multiple activities. It's about establishing a consistent pattern that primes you for a successful day. Having a morning ritual means committing to the first hour or so after waking up as a time for growth, clarity, and focus. Whether it's a few minutes of meditation to clear your mind, a quick exercise routine to get your body moving, or reading something that inspires you, the goal is to start the day by taking deliberate action. This time is yours to ground yourself, gather your thoughts, and align your focus with your larger goals. As Benjamin Franklin wisely said, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." A structured morning routine helps you prioritize your time and energy, preventing the chaos of the day from taking over. By setting aside time to focus on yourself and your priorities before the world demands your attention, you ensure that you're in control, not reactive. By incorporating small, consistent actions into your morning, such as reviewing your goals, journaling, or practicing gratitude, you create a foundation for a focused, productive day. The beauty of a morning ritual is that over time, it becomes automatic. It helps establish a sense of discipline and clarity that carries you through the day with purpose. Ultimately, your morning ritual is an investment in your future success. By taking charge of your morning, you empower yourself to take charge of your day. Habit 3. Focus on results, not effort. One of the biggest differentiators between the top 1% and everyone else is how they approach work. While many people focus on working harder or spending more time on tasks, the most successful individuals focus on results, not effort. They understand that simply putting in more hours doesn't necessarily lead to greater success. What matters most is whether those hours are used effectively to create meaningful outcomes. The 1% don't get caught up in the idea of being busy for the sake of being busy. They don't pride themselves on working long hours or multitasking. Instead, they take a more strategic approach, focusing on the activities that will yield the highest return on their time and energy. This means prioritizing tasks that move them closer to their bigger goals and not getting distracted by busy work or things that don't contribute to their larger vision. As Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, puts it, focus on being productive instead of busy. When you focus on results, you ask yourself not, how much work am I putting in, but what is the outcome I'm aiming for? This shift in perspective can drastically improve your productivity. Instead of running on a hamster wheel, expending energy on countless tasks, you start using your time and effort to achieve clear, measurable results. If you make the habit of focusing on results, you'll start recognizing the difference between activities that move the needle and those that don't. You'll begin to eliminate the distractions and unnecessary tasks that just eat up your time. Instead, you'll approach each day with a clear understanding of what needs to be done to create the biggest impact. This mindset of results-driven work is how the top 1% turn their effort into success. Focus on what matters most, and you'll find that the effort you put in will deliver the rewards you desire. Habit 4. Use imagination to shape your future. Successful individuals know that imagination is a powerful tool. They don't just rely on what they see around them or what they've already experienced. Instead, they actively use their imagination to visualize the future they want to create. The ability to envision your goals and dreams before they happen is a habit that sets the top 1% apart from everyone else. It's not about fantasizing, but about mentally rehearsing success and creating a blueprint for your future. Your imagination is the canvas where you paint the life you want to live. The top 1% understand that what they envision consistently in their minds becomes a guiding force in their actions. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you must first see it in your mind's eye. As Albert Einstein famously said, imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. By visualizing success, whether it's a career milestone, personal achievement, or a broader life goal, you begin to align your actions with that vision. Your imagination creates clarity and purpose, which then drives your decisions and behavior. The key is to imagine not just the end result, but the path to get there. What does it look like when you've achieved your goal? How does it feel? What steps did you take to get there? By answering these questions in your mind, you start programming your subconscious to take the necessary actions. Successful people don't limit themselves to what's possible based on their current circumstances. They expand their vision and think beyond what they've experienced. This is where creativity and innovation begin. Your mind becomes a tool to shape your future reality. If you're stuck in a limiting mindset, It's hard to break free and think bigger, but when you practice using your imagination to shape the future you want, it empowers you to take bold, calculated actions that align with your vision. Imagine it daily. See your success as if it's already happening. The more vivid and real you make this mental picture, the more it will influence your decisions and actions in the real world. Visualization isn't just daydreaming. It's a tool for turning your dreams into concrete results. The top 1% use their imagination as a driving force, and so can you. Start imagining the future you want today, and let that vision guide you toward extraordinary success. Habit 5. Embrace silence for clarity and focus. In a world filled with constant distractions, the ability to embrace silence is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. The top 1% understand the importance of quiet moments, not just to rest, but to think deeply, reflect, and sharpen their focus. In silence, they find the space to connect with their inner thoughts, set clear intentions, and make decisions with clarity. The average person is constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's the hum of daily life, the chatter of social media, or the pressure of external demands. But the most successful people know that silence is where real thinking happens. It's in these quiet moments that they can hear their own thoughts, assess their goals, and gain insight into the next steps they need to take. As Eckhart Tolle wisely put it, silence is not something you add to the world. It is something you reveal from within. By carving out time each day for silence, you create an opportunity to unplug from the noise and distractions that cloud your judgment. It's not about being isolated or retreating from the world, but about finding a mental space where you can focus deeply without interruption. Whether it's through meditation, a quiet walk, or simply sitting in stillness, this habit allows you to connect with your deeper self and align your actions with your values and purpose. Silence also provides the mental clarity needed to make better decisions. In a quiet space, you can step back from the chaos and evaluate situations more objectively, free from emotional noise or external pressures. This makes it easier to assess what's truly important and take decisive action without hesitation. When you regularly make time for silence, you develop the ability to think more critically, act with purpose, and solve problems with a clear mind. It's a daily practice that sharpens your focus, enhances your creativity, and provides a sense of inner peace. The top 1% know that to lead effectively, they must first lead themselves in quiet reflection. By embracing silence every day, you can do the same, allowing your thoughts to grow stronger, your decisions to become more purposeful, and your actions to be aligned with your greater vision. Habit 6. Act with identity, not emotion. The top 1% understand that success is not driven by fleeting emotions, but by a clear sense of identity and purpose. Emotions can be powerful, but they are often temporary and unreliable. If you rely solely on how you feel, you might find yourself acting based on mood rather than a well-thought-out plan. The most successful individuals don't let their feelings dictate their actions. They act from their identity, from a deep understanding of who they are and the goals they are working to achieve. When you operate from a place of identity, you make decisions and take actions based on who you are becoming, not how you feel in the moment. This is where true discipline comes in. For example, when you face obstacles or challenges, it's easy to let frustration, fear, or self-doubt take over. However, if you have a clear understanding of your identity and your long-term vision, these emotions won't have the power to stop you. As author and motivational speaker Tony Robbins says, the only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. By acting from identity, you're constantly reminded of your core values, principles, and goals. You understand that you are not someone who backs down when things get tough. You are someone who pushes forward, regardless of temporary feelings. The key is to define who you are and what you stand for. Then let that vision guide your actions, regardless of the emotions you might experience along the way. Successful people don't wait to feel confident before they take action. They decide to take action first, and over time, their identity and mindset catch up. This shift is crucial. When you act from identity, you make decisions with clarity and purpose, rather than reacting based on fleeting feelings or external pressures. You align your behavior with your values, and this consistency builds the foundation for long-term success. When you make decisions based on who you are becoming, you stop waiting for motivation or the right feeling. Instead, you create momentum by acting in line with your identity. This habit transforms your approach to challenges and opportunities alike, making you more resilient, focused, and capable of achieving the success you desire. By consistently acting from a place of identity, not emotion, you build a life of purpose, consistency, and, ultimately, Habit 7. Build systems and discipline into your life. The top 1% understand that success is not a result of isolated actions, but of consistent, well-structured systems that run efficiently over time. They don't leave their progress to chance, nor do they rely solely on motivation to get things done. Instead, they build systems, structured routines and processes that guide their actions consistently and effectively. These systems allow them to automate their productivity, eliminate unnecessary decisions, and make steady progress toward their goals. Systems are what separate those who achieve great things from those who simply work hard without clear direction. As the famous inventor Henry Ford once said, "You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do." Instead of constantly reacting to the demands of the day, the 1% develop systems that ensure they are always moving toward their desired outcomes. These systems become the framework within which they operate, allowing them to focus on execution instead of wasting time figuring out what to do next. For example, rather than waiting for motivation to strike, they set up daily routines that help them stay productive, even on their most challenging days. Whether it's a morning routine that primes them for success, or an evening ritual that helps them reflect on progress, systems give structure to every part of their day. This discipline creates a rhythm, a way of working that is reliable and sustainable, so that the work is done no matter what obstacles arise. Discipline is the backbone of any successful system. It's the ability to stick to your routines even when things aren't going perfectly or when distractions are tempting. The top 1% embrace discipline not as a burden, but as the key to freedom. It frees them from the chaos of decision fatigue and allows them to channel their energy into meaningful, high-value tasks. As author Jocko Willink puts it, discipline equals freedom. When you have a system in place and the discipline to follow it, you free yourself from the need for constant motivation and guesswork. Building systems doesn't happen overnight, but once they are in place, they give you the consistency needed to achieve your goals. Systems create efficiency and help you maintain focus, even when distractions are abundant. Whether it's a system for managing your time, finances, health, or personal growth, the 1% know that the small, disciplined actions they take each day compound over time into massive success. By creating systems and committing to them with discipline, you begin to make progress effortlessly because the systems are working for you. Habit 8. Think with precision, not hope. The top 1% are known for their ability to think critically and make decisions based on facts, not on hope or assumptions. They don't rely on wishful thinking or a vague sense of optimism to guide their actions. Instead, they approach their decisions with precision, carefully evaluating the available information and using logic to guide their choices. This habit of precise thinking is what helps them navigate challenges, avoid unnecessary risks, and make decisions that lead to consistent success. When most people face uncertainty or doubt, they often fall back on hope. They hope things will get better, hope that their hard work will pay off, or hope that opportunities will present themselves. While hope can be a powerful motivator, it's not a strategy for success. As the renowned entrepreneur Peter Drucker said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." The top 1% don't sit around hoping that success will come to them. They take deliberate, calculated actions based on the knowledge and information they have at hand. Thinking with precision means looking at the facts, evaluating the situation objectively, and making decisions based on logic and reason. It's about eliminating the noise and focusing on what truly matters. For example, instead of hoping that a business venture will succeed based on positive feelings or good intentions, the most successful people analyze the market, gather data, and make decisions based on the best available evidence. This allows them to make informed choices and avoid falling into the trap of false optimism. This habit also extends to problem solving. When faced with a challenge, the top 1% don't let emotions or uncertainty cloud their judgment. Instead, they break down the problem into smaller, manageable parts and think critically about the best course of action. They know that precise thinking leads to effective solutions, while relying on hope or emotion often leads to misguided decisions. By thinking with precision, you can avoid the pitfalls of uncertainty and move forward with clarity. You'll be able to assess situations objectively, make better decisions, and take actions that are in alignment with your goals. Instead of hoping for the best, you'll be creating your future with deliberate, thoughtful decisions that position you for success. The more you practice thinking with precision, the more confident and capable you'll become in handling any situation that comes your way. Habit 9. Seek accurate thinking, not confirmation. The top 1% are masters at distinguishing between what is true and what is merely believed. They don't base their decisions on popular opinion or seek validation for their thoughts. Instead, they prioritize accurate thinking, constantly questioning, testing assumptions, and seeking the truth, even if it challenges their existing beliefs. This habit of seeking truth, rather than simply looking for confirmation, allows them to make decisions that are grounded in reality, not in biases or fleeting trends. In today's world, it's easy to surround ourselves with information that supports our views and beliefs. But the most successful people know that this confirmation bias can be dangerous. They actively seek out diverse perspectives, facts, and evidence to ensure that their thinking is based on reality. They understand that progress comes from challenging the status quo, not from clinging to preconceived notions or seeking validation from others. As author and philosopher James Allen said, "A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts." The top 1% recognize that their thinking shapes their reality, so they take great care in ensuring that their thoughts are grounded in truth. They ask questions like, "Is this fact or opinion?" and "What evidence supports this belief?" They don't rely on feelings or assumptions. They seek clarity, even when the truth is uncomfortable or inconvenient. This habit also involves being open to feedback and criticism. The top 1% don't shy away from being challenged. In fact, they actively seek out constructive criticism because they know that it will help them see things from different angles and improve their approach. Accurate thinking requires humility and the willingness to accept that we don't always have all the answers. It means being willing to adjust your beliefs and strategies as you gather more information and insights. By practicing accurate thinking, you remove the mental clutter that comes from unchecked assumptions or emotional reasoning. You begin to make decisions that are based on the best available evidence, not on emotions or personal biases. This allows you to make better, more informed choices that propel you toward success. When you stop seeking validation and start seeking truth, you open yourself up to growth, clarity, and lasting progress. Habit 10. Commit to repetition for mastery. The top 1% understand that true mastery comes from consistent, deliberate practice. They don't rely on fleeting motivation or sudden bursts of inspiration. Instead, they commit to repetitive actions that build skill, reinforce discipline, and lead to excellence over time. Success is the result of habits performed with consistency. And the more you repeat productive actions, the more natural and effortless they become. Repetition is the foundation of mastery. When you repeat something regularly, it becomes ingrained in your muscle memory, your thinking, and your routines. This doesn't just apply to physical skills like playing an instrument or a sport. It also applies to mental habits, decision-making, and even how you approach challenges. The top 1% know that without repetition, progress stagnates. Every skill, from leadership to problem-solving, requires regular practice to develop fully. As the famous author and motivational speaker Jim Rohn once said, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day." Repetition is what builds those disciplines and allows them to become second nature. The more you commit to repeating positive habits and actions, the more you internalize them, making them a permanent part of your life. Think about it. The top 1% don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on their systems, routines, and repeated actions. Whether it's exercising every day, reading and learning consistently, or practicing your craft, these repeated efforts compound over time and lead to mastery. The key is to make repetition a non-negotiable part of your daily life. It's about setting up systems where the right actions become automatic, so you don't have to rely on willpower or inspiration to get things done. By committing to repetition, you build a solid foundation for lasting success. Small, consistent actions lead to big results, and over time, your efforts accumulate into real mastery. It's not about doing more or working harder. It's about doing the right things consistently, day in and day out. When you make repetition a habit, you're not just learning new things. You're building a legacy of excellence that will serve you for a lifetime. As we wrap up this video, it's time to take action and change your life. Write a comment below saying that you are ready to transform your life, no matter how challenging it might seem. I will personally read each one of your comments and feature one of the most inspiring ones on our channel. If you're ready for a daily dose of raw, unfiltered motivation, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's make this journey to success together.